Welcome back, everybody. Gaming Grandpa here doing the FM Challenge for FIFA 23. Just wanted to give you a quick little highlight here before we get into the next episode. Our market value has risen, which is awesome. They also increased my transfer budget by $3.5 million. So that really helped me. Now, there has been quite a bit of transfer moves from my side, and it's kind of surprised me, but I signed this kid. He's an Italian, and he's just, I've been wanting to get rid of Backlick for obvious reasons, and I'll cover all that at the beginning of the season. But his value was declining big time, and the goalkeeper that I signed, Dragowski, he's actually worth the same value. So it was pretty much a no-brainer, plus he had 1 year left on his contract, and I actually had a team come in and give me an offer for him for Backlick, and they wouldn't pay over $5, and I'm just like, you know what, no, I'm not going to do that. So I got a really good deal on this kid here. They wanted $47 million, and I paid $29 in Backlick, so I thought it was a hell of a deal. And they tell me all this other stuff here, and I really don't care. Oh, our stadium got upgraded by 9,000 seats, or 7,000, so now we seat 29,000. So that was a big deal, but I'm going to cover a lot more later. I just wanted to kind of show you some of the things that were going on before we get into the start of the season. So anyhow, that's going to be pretty much it for this highlight rather, and I will be back here shortly. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. Welcome back, everybody. Gaming Grandpa here doing the FM Challenge in FIFA 23. We are now in Season 2 with Austin Football Club. And I have a few shock transfers that you're going to be like, what the heck? But once again, according to FM, and I'm trying to play this as realistic as possible according to FM rules, Football Manager rules, and real life. Arsenal came in for a bid on Driussi, and in real life, he would not want to stay here. He'd want to go to Arsenal. And besides that, his market value was, I think, $30 million at the time. And he's only going to get up about 81 at the most because his development was pretty much stagnant. There was only a couple stats that were left to increase. So this is pretty much as good as he's going to get. And he is 27, and I wanted to hang on to him. But for 31-1, what can I say? I let him go. And besides, I had Rodriguez to fill in his spot. So because of my pre-contract with Bernabeu, that is playing right mid. So that worked out great. Now, Jovanovic, I want to keep him. I mean, he'll be a pretty good starter for me here when he gets a little bit older and gets a little bit better. And not only that, but he's 6'2", and I really kind of like him. But I sent him out for loan. I believe it's a year loan. Yeah. And he's going to be playing for a decent squad. So it's like, why not? Now, this kid, once again, with my youth academy, I tried to bring him up I try to wait to bring him up as long as I can wait, but sometimes I can't. Like if I'm out of room on my youth academy and I have a couple other studs I want to sign, then I have no choice but to bring some of them up. So when they're 17 is the earliest I like to bring them up unless they complain. Well, I brought this kid up when he was 17, and I sent him out for loan, and he just isn't turning into the player that I was hoping. So matter of fact, it just says he's at the club, since 2022. So, at the club since 2023. I mean, that means that he's not going to get any better. I mean, he might go up to 75 or 74, but he's not going to show any grip potential or whatnot. So I went ahead and sold him, and, I got dinged because I could have got more money from him, but you know what? It is what it is. I just cleared the roster spot. Now, here's the biggest shock signing that there is. Bellotti. He wasn't going to get any better. He was everything was stagnated in his development, and I had 4 or 5 clubs that speculated that they wanted to come in for him, and him and I had a long talk, and he said that he really wanted to get back into European playoffs, Champions League, Europa League, whatnot. So I'm like, you know what? We won the league last year. Well, we didn't win the league. We won the cup, and we won the best record. So it's like, I had to let him go. And for $47 freaking million for this dude, why not? Well, that left a gaping hole in my attack. Well, enter this kid. This kid is going to be a stud. I mean, he's he's just, what can I say? I mean, he's going to get up to, I believe it's 90? Nope, 88. I'm sorry. But I mean, for God's sakes, 88, I mean, he's going to be a stud. He's going to be way better than, I mean, he's already better than Vlade, you know. And not only that, but I wanted to get rid of Vaklik, who was my goalkeeper. Remember, he was declining, and he was worth 10, and now he was worth 7.5. I had 2 offers that came in for him. One was for 4, and one was for 4.5, and I could not get them to go up. So when they said that they, you know, wanted this player, I'm like, you know what? Let's get him down. So I paid $29 million and got rid of Vaklik, who the going rate was $5 million. So I still made a killing on that deal. I mean, look at that, 41.5. Now, we'll talk about the salaries here in just a minute, and surprisingly, I made everything work mathematically with the salary cap and everything, and so everything worked out, and it was, I think I'm pretty much done unless I get rid of players and move some salary. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. All right, now, Bravo. You know, I don't know what happened, but when I started the second season, a lot of my players that were exciting prospects are now showing great potential, and some of them weren't even named. So I don't know what's going on. This kid's still going to get to be about an 86. I don't know what is going on with that. But anyhow, he wanted more game time, and so I sent him out to a pretty decent team to play. So hopefully he'll come back, you know, better than what he was, because I just had too many young strikers that were sporadic and prospects that they wanted more game time, and that's fine. So I want to keep him, so I sent him out on loan. Now, this was a shock to me because I wanted to keep him. I'd rather get rid of Denayer and not Montez, but you know, when they came in for an offer for this kid for $30 million, and I'm like, you know what? I had a center back lined up already that I really was looking at getting anyway. And, you know, he was pretty much, he's not going to get much better than that. I mean, he can increase to maybe an 81, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and cash in now. And not only that, but he's making, you know, a lot more money than he was going to make here anyway. So how can I tell these kids no, right? But anyway, I got $30 million for him. Now, this is a kid that I'm over the moon about, you know. And funny thing, I had Maitland-Niles. I signed him on a pre-contract, and he was with the club. And, you know, I always go into transfers trying to get rid of players to try to make the transfer cheaper. Well, they didn't want anybody but Maitland-Niles. And I'm like, wow, they even suggested. They said, we don't want Matehu, we don't want this guy, but we want him. And I'm like, all right, so, you know, you want me to pay $40 million? Bull crap. So I got him down to 28.5 with Maitland-Niles, who was actually only worth about 10. And look at that. He's already $55 million. And he's going to be a stud for us. And not only that, but he's 6'4", so he has that thundering headers that I like, and he's tall and he's strong. So I think he's going to be awesome. I've actually had this kid when he was younger a few years ago in FIFA 20, so I know he's going to blossom and do really well for us. So that was a no-brainer there. So, you know, I lost a little bit of money between here and there because of Maitland-Niles, but you know what? That worked out for me because Wrench could slide back in and take his starting role right back again, and things worked out. This is the only free agent that I signed. And look at that, 18 years old, and I'm like, wow. So I could not pass that up. There's a couple more I'm looking at, but I'm running out of space to sign them. So, and not only that, but salary. So, and I want to keep some openings in case of my youth academy guys, you know, so that's what happened. Now, Boateng, I still don't know how good he's going to be because he's one of them generated characters, but you know what? I didn't have any plans for him, and he's only 17, so I sent him out on loan again for a year, and the funny thing is he was on loan with these guys last year. Now, Odd, I did not want to send on loan. I didn't even have him listed, but I had a lot of clubs come in for him, and he said, boss, he said, I'm not going to get much play time now. You signed a few other left backs. He said, can I please go out to loan? Sporting CP is a hell of a club for him to go to, and, you know, I do plan on keeping this kid, and we'll see how he develops. All right, now, here is my best signing, I think. This kid, I played with him before. Anytime you can get a player from Bayern Munich to come play, I was over the moon. Now, he did tell me, he said, boss, he said, you know, I wasn't playing much at Bayern, and he says, I could be a starter here, and I'm going to use this club as a stepping stone. And I'm like, step away, that's fine with me, come on in. The only problem is that they wanted Rodriguez to go with them. Well, it worked out great for me because Rodriguez was filling in for Driussi, but then now this kid was better than Rodriguez. Anyway, he's going to be better than what he ever would be. And look at that. He's an 81 now. And look how much he's worth. So Rodriguez was marketed value at $15 million. So, I did lose a little bit on that one. But you know what? I made a crap load of money. And I spent it, I think, very wisely, which is the key to business, right? And I still have $11 million in my kitty. Now, I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But look at only 4 players. That's it. I got rid of a lot of players and only signed 4 players. And it was crazy. Now, I will tell you that, remember, I'm playing with the salary cap. And I have $4.9 million on the salary cap per year. And I have my DPs, which you're only allowed 3. Now, remember, Maitland-Niles was on a DP contract. Vaclik was on a DP contract because he wanted to sign a new contract before I got rid of him. I'm like, whatever. So he was on a DP contract. And I had 4 players that were going to be on DPs, and I'm going, how the hell am I going to do this? Well, my pre-contract goalkeeper, Durkowski, he's on a DP contract also because he wanted $17,000. That's the cheapest I could get him. But I think he'll do really well for us. So he's a DP. And then Gravenhurst is a DP, but he is my under 23 DP. And remember, that's only 2 because I got rid of the other players that were on DP contracts. Bellotti was 1, Now, I did sign Saliba, and I did sign my other kid, Raspadori, but they're under 22, and even Gravenhurst was. So the one that made the most was Gravenhurst. So I went ahead and made him my DP, under 23. And I made my other 2 guys under 22 initiative programs, which is wonderful because it all fit in budget-wise, and I have my team who I'm going to register. I know I'm going to register them, but this is preseason, so I'm just kind of playing around with the books until first game, and then I'll tell you who is getting registered and who's being left out, because there are some people being left out. But with the salary cap and with all the allocation money and the buy-downs, I have $5,000 in salary left. So what does that mean? Can I sign more players? Yeah, I can sign more players. However, I have to get rid of players. Even though it says I have 11 million, I cannot buy any more players unless I reduce some salary. That's just how it is, playing with the salary cap. Now, I also want to talk real quick. I'm thinking about releasing a player, and I hate releasing players. I truly do. But they're just not, and he's a homegrown kid to make things worse. But look at this. He's just not improved at all. I mean, he's almost a 52. And he's already 18. So I was thinking about releasing him because he's on my transfer list, but I just can't get anybody to come in and take him. So it's really, really kind of frustrating on that regards. But there's a couple other free agents that I'm really, really wanting to sign that are youth, young kids. But unless I will and deal, it is what it is. Now, Thomas Pochettino, I had 3 offers come in for him, and none of them went through because of the damn deadline day, which it's a glitch. Nothing that goes through before the deadline day or that you work out in the deadline day actually completes. And I wish that EA would fix that. So it's just really crazy. But anyhow, this is going to be my starting 11 as it stands now. I got Raspadori, who's going to be teaming up with, right now I have Maha, but Mokuku is a 73, and once again, he's sporadic. So I'm going to take advantage of that and let this kid play. Now, I have Vega and Benrahu on my wings, and I've had offers for both of these guys, and luckily it was to crappy clubs and they agreed to stay, so I was pretty happy with that. Now, Gravenberch, once again, he's going to be my central attacking midfielder, and Busio is lucked out. He's going to be rotating his spot with him and Famba, who I had a contract with. Now, Middlestat, he is going to get up to about an 81, 82, and he was a pre-contract, and for what he wanted salary-wise, he didn't even become a DP. It was like $10,000, so I was very happy with that. Now, Mensah is probably going to be gone at the end of this, I'd say by the time the next transfer window opens up, just because he's not getting any better. He's already flatlined on his development. I mean, completely flatlined. Now, Fry, he wants to be an important player, but he's going to get plenty of game time between these 3 guys here. And then Denayer and Saliba are of course going to be my center backs. Now, Denayer, I actually had a couple offers for him. that came in during deadline day, but once again, nothing goes through because I was going to sell him because I had another kid lined up that I really wanted to get. And not only that, but it would have worked out great. And then once again, Wrench is going to end up being the right back. And then Dragowski is a pre-contract player that I signed. And he's a rotational player, which works out great for me. This kid's a rotational player. This kid's a rotational player. And they're both pre-contracts and then Famos. But what that means is some of my youngsters that were getting a lot of game time are moved down. I have no choice to do that. But they'll get some game time still. Now, this kid, I don't know what I'm going to do with him. I want to get rid of him. I didn't want him to begin with. I actually have somebody paid his release clause, so I'm happy about that because I want to get rid of him too. Now, Matehu, I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of a lot of these kids. Now, these are my goalkeepers. And these are the youngsters that I just brought up, and they're going to get registered too. So, a lot of these other guys are not getting registered, and that's just how it works. But, everything works out, but I have $5,000 left on the salary cap, and I have no allocation money left unless I can sell a player to a MLS team and get more money from the allocation, which I can work that out to that way I can afford some more salary. So we'll see what happens. All right, now Youth Academy, I'm going to cover that real quick too. I have some pretty good players. I'm not going to bring him up yet until he's 17 unless he complains. Garcia, I thought about bringing him up, but he's only a 61 right now, so I'm waiting. And, I have some players that I might have to let go of, like this kid here. I mean, his max potential is probably going to be about a 75. So it's like, why am I hanging on to them? Same thing with this kid. He's just not going to get that much better, but I do have some quality players, and he's 18, so shit, I'm going to have to bring him up before I lose him, but that's okay. Now, I also wanted to show you my scout reports came back. And I am just ecstatic and so happy. Alright, not him. Alright, my scouts are currently in Australia, Moldova, and the US. Now, the Moldova ones in Australia are 3 months. Okay. I'm probably going to sign him, but this kid here, how can I not sign him? I mean, holy crap. And I have a USA kid that is just, where's he at? 2 of them actually. This kid and this kid. Look at that. $3.5 million for Johnson. Unbelievable. And now my academy is going to be completely full again. But that's okay because I'm probably going to have to, withdraw some players or release some or whatever. Now, once again, my salary cap does include my view squad. So, and that's configured to be in a, 16 is the max I can have, but that's what I am paying for. So it works out. All right, now I'm trying to find the kids that I just signed. Look at that, a 69 already. Holy crap. All right, here's the other kid. They are 17, so I'll have to bring them up here pretty soon, but that's why I left room in my squad. And where was the other kid? Oh my God, what was he? It wasn't nuts. Was it Ramirez maybe? Oh well, but it's one of them. Johnson and Wood. Look at that. USA boys, man. Who says you can't find good talent in the USA? It's this kid, 64 from Moda. But look at that potential. Now, these guys' potential isn't that great, but I think as a 69 OBR, he's going to be geared towards the high 80s, so that would be awesome. But anyway, this is going to pretty much take care of this beginning season's transfer window, and I wanted to just kind of show you the news. Like I said, I love it. They picked him to replace Driussi, which, of course, that's his job, so, it's going to be awesome. Now, he's going to replace Bellotti, of course. And then Saliba is going to end up replacing Montes. But look that's my 3 studs that I just signed. And I love when they show them on there. So I think we're going to have another good team. We're going to challenge for, to win what we did last year. But anyhow, guys, I just want to go wrap this one up before it gets to be too long. And just tell you that was all the transfers and all the Youth Academy guys and all the signings that we made. I am trying to get rid of about another 8 players. And, I am probably going to end up releasing one. You're allowed to release 2 a year. and I want to save it in case I have a crappy Academy guy that I accidentally bring up without realizing how bad he is. But anyhow, we're going to jump straight into preseason here, and I'll probably show you a game or two from the Cup, and we'll see how well we do. But anyhow, guys, I'm excited for season 2, and hopefully you guys are too. So like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and I will see y'all later.